Good day, Sir Ryan. And now, I will discuss all these topics. The number 1, how CPU works. 2, evolution of CPU. 3, overview GPU. And 4, SUP1 operation. And the last one, the SUP1 programming. For CPU works. How a CPU works. The Central Processing Unit, or CPU, is the brain of a computer. It executes instructions from software application by performing 3 main tasks, which is fetch, decode, and execute. The CPU, or Central Processing Unit, is the brain of a computer, responsible for executing instructions through the fetch, decode, and execute cycle. It consists of key components such as the control unit, which is CU, which directs operations, the arithmetic logic, which handles calculations and logic, registers for temporary data storage, and cache memory for fast data access. The CPU fetch instruction from RAM, decodes them to determine the required operation, and executes them using its processing units. Performance is influenced by factors like clock speed, number of cores, cache size, instruction set, architect, RISC versus CISC, and multi-threading capabilities. Modern CPUs use techniques like pipelining, parallel processing, and branch prediction to enhance efficiency. Faster cache speeds and memory bandwidth also improve performance by optimizing data transfer between the CPU and other components. And the second one, I will discuss the evolution of CPU processing power. This is the part 1. Based on the video I watched, the video explored the evolution of CPU technology, beginning with the groundbreaking Intel 4004, which marked the start of modern computing. It delves into how CPUs execute instruction through a cycle of fetching, decoding, and executing, while also discussing the importance of architecture, data presentation, and advancements in processing power over the years. The video sets the stage for further exploration of CPU design innovations and their efficiency. The mid-1960s saw a revolution in miniaturization, leading to the development of integrated circuits that combine multiple transistors on a single chip. The Intel 4004 CPU, released in March 1971, featured 2,300 transistors and was initially designed for calculator, setting the foundation for advanced computing. And for the evolution of CPU processing power, part 2. The video explores the evolution of central processing units from the 1970s, detailing significant advancement in technology, architecture, and their impact on software development, leading to the emergence of powerful microprocessors like the Intel 8086 and their role in stabilizing the personal computer industry. The video emphasized the importance of prior knowledge about CPU operation, setting the stage for an in-depth exploration of CPU evolution The introduction of indirect addressing enabled flexible data handling, such as the use of vector tables to reference specific data locations, showcasing early software ingenuity. And the video's conclusion underscore the lasting legacy of the 8086 architecture, which continues to influence modern CPUs, signifying its crucial role in the computing landscape today. For the evolution of CPU processing power, Part 3. The video explores the evolution of multitasking in computing from the 1960s to the early 1980s, detailing the transition from multiprogramming to true multitasking operation systems. It highlights key developments such as the introduction of time sharing and the importance of memory management units and the advancements in processor architecture that facilitated enhanced multitasking capabilities, culminating in innovations like the IBM PC 80 and its supports for Windows. The multitasking paradigm began gaining traction in the 1960s, originating from multiprogramming, which processed programs in batch and involved switching between them during input waits. The interrupt handling in protected mode contrasted significantly from real mode, featuring an interrupt descriptor table to manage interrupts effectively, enhancing operating system interaction that define its crucial role in the computing landscape today. For the evolution of CPU processing power, Part 4. In this video, I watch and there's some I confused about this. Sorry for the English, sir. But anyways, the video explores the evolution of computing architecture, particularly the transition to 32-bit processors in the mid-1980s, and the associated advancements in CPU design, including pipelining and caching techniques that allow for higher performance and efficiency in software processing. During the 1980s and 90s, software development shifted from simple tools to complex visual products, creating increased demand for powerful processors. And the ability of 32-bit processors to address up to 4.2 gigabytes of memory marked a substantial upgrade in computing capacity that would dominate the industry for many years. And different caching policies, including write, through, and write back mechanisms, are discussed, highlighting the importance of synchronization cache data with system memory. And this is it, the image in this presentation, like the evolution of processor, as we can see from 1971 to 2003. Yes. And now We are now moving to Overview GPU. A GPU, or Graphics Processing Unit, is a specialized processor designed to handle graphics, rendering the parallel computations, unlike a CPU or Central Processing Unit that focuses on sequential processing. A GPU is optimized for massive parallelism, making it efficient during the 1990s, and software development shifted from simple tools to complex visual products, creating increased demand for powerful processors. Rendering graphics in games, videos, and animations. Scientific computing such as AI, deep learning, and simulation. Cryptocurrency mining by solving complex mathematical problems. And the last, for video editing and 3D modeling due to its ability to process large datasets quickly. Different caching policies, including write-to and write-back mechanisms, are discussed, highlighting the importance of synchronization cache data with system memory. And now, we are moving on SAP1 operations. I will now discuss the SAP1 operation. But before that, as we can see, we are pictured here, which is with program counter, input and mar, 16x8 RAM, instructions register, controller, sequencer, accumulator, adder, subtractor, view register, output register, and the last, binary display. The SAP1, or Simple as Possible One, is a basic computer architecture designed for teaching fundamental CPU operations. It follows the von Neumann architecture, where instructions and data share the same memory. SAP1, or Simple as Possible One, operates through a fetch, decode, and execute cycle, using components like the W bus, 8-bit data bus, program counter, memory address register, memory buffer register, accumulator, and the last, control unit. Instructions are fetched from memory, decoded by control unit, and executed using the arithmetic logic unit, or ALU, and registers. SAP1, or Simple as Possible One, programming involves the machine level instructions such as LDA, or load, add for addition, sub for subtract, and out for output, and the last, HLT, for halt, to perform simple operations. Programs are written using binary opcodes that directly control memory and registers, demonstrating the fundamental principles of a working CPU. And a fundamental computer architecture used for educational purposes to demonstrate how a basic CPU functions. It is designed to help learners understand the core concepts of computer operations. At the hardware level, SAP1 follows the von Neumann architecture, which means that both instructions, the program code, and the data values to be processed are stored in the same memory unit, allowing the CPU to access and manipulate them sequentially. This design is the foundation of most modern computers. SAP1 operates through a fetch, decode, and execute cycle, which is the standard process used by CPUs to perform operations. The fetch phase retrieves an instruction from memory using the program counter, which keeps track of the instruction address. The instruction is then stored in the memory address register and sent to the memory buffer register for temporary storage. During the decode phase, the CU or control unit interprets the instructions and determines which operation should be executed. Finally, in the execute phase, the arithmetic logic unit or ALU processes the data by performing arithmetic like addition, subtraction, or logical operations. The result is stored in the accumulator, a special register that holds intermediate calculations before they are sent to the output or memory. The W bus or 8-bit data bus serves as the main communication path, transferring data between different components of the system. The simplified model provides a foundational understanding of how real CPUs function, demonstrating key principles like instruction, execution, data movement, and the basic computation. And that's it for the SAP1 or simple as possible one operations. And we are now tackle the last topic, and which is the SAP1 programming. As we can see, this SAP1 programming is naano na po natin, parang na-discuss na din natin and na-explain ko na din sa last video. Ito po yun. Kung paano kung pinaliwanag ko din po pala to yung last video ko. Anyways, sir. For SAP1 or simple as possible one programming is based on machine level instructions that directly manipulate memory and registers. It uses symbols of codes like LDA, load, add, addition, subtract, output, and HLT, halt, to perform arithmetic and logic operations. Programs are written in binary and stored memory, where the CPU sequentially processes each instructions. For example, a program to add two numbers would first load a value into the accumulator and another value from memory, output the result, and then halt execution. Since SAP1 is a fundamental model, its programming approach emphasizes understanding how basic instructions control the flow of operations in a computer system. And SAP1 programming is based on machine level instruction, meaning that all operations are performed using binary coded instruction that the CPU can directly execute. These instructions manipulate data stored in register and memory, allowing the system to process basic computation, unlike high-level programming language that use readable syntax. SAP1 operates at low level, where each instruction is represented by a unique opcode or operation code. The primary instruction include LDA or load accumulator, which loads a value from memory into the accumulator and add for addition, which adds a value from memory to the accumulator's current value, and for the subtract, which performs subtraction, and for output, which sends the result to an output device, and HLT, which is halt, which stops execution. And the programs are written in a binary format, or sometimes in a hexadecimal for easier readability, and stored in memory. The CPU executes this instruction sequentially, meaning it follows a strict step-by-step order as determined by the program. For instance, a simple SUP1 or simple as possible one program to add two numbers would involve loading first number into the accumulator or the LDA, adding the second number, which is add, displaying the result, which is out. This programming approach is focused on demonstrating how data flows through a CPU, how memory and registers interact, and how basic computations are handled at the machine level. And this provides a foundational understanding of how real-world processors execute more complex instructions. And that's it. Thank you, Sir Ryan Evangelista, for this semester, and yun. I hope we will see again in the future. And yes, this is my final requirements in your subject, microprocessor. And my reflection video or explaining all these topics. Thank you, sir. Have a nice day.